Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. The DnF Duel Beta is now over. Unfortunately, it was a lot of fun. And with that in mind, I just want to give some of my thoughts on how the game is overall from my experience in the beta. If you've been following along at all with this game, this has been a bit of a roller coaster. We had the announcement and then nothing for just about a year. And then all of a sudden, all the character trailers, everything gets dumped all at once. And also there's an open beta happening all at once at the same time. And just felt very overwhelming. That said, with the beta especially in mind, perhaps that's a good thing, as we had basically no expectations. We just knew, hey, new anime fighting game coming out. We can play for free, open beta, and go from that. And I think that helps positively influence a lot of stuff, as it was a big mystery of what this was going to be. We had exactly no preconceptions, right? So we can only take it at its absolute face value. And at its absolute face value, it's a pretty cool and fun game. Now, that isn't to say it was without problems. If you tried to start in the first few hours of the game, you basically were not gonna play. The entire first night of the game, the beta that is, I got exactly one full game in. And otherwise, it was just this searching for room, disconnected. Sometimes I would even manage to get into a room, then immediately get disconnected at that point, but either way it was unstable, to say the least. That said, I'm not really going to hold it against the game. Betas, at the best of times, they usually have these problems, right? This is not unique to this game. Almost every beta, day one, no matter what genre of game it is, usually hits this massive wall where they get more people than anticipate, and the servers kind of crap themselves. So it sucked, yes, and I kind of wish they extended the beta maybe one more day to make up for that fact where we sort of lost a good chunk of time, but whatever. That's not the fault of the gameplay itself, so I'm not going to hold it against it. So on that note, let's talk the gameplay. So there's been a lot of discussion on the internet, about the simplified gameplay, if you will, right? So pretty much everything in this game is you have 4 core buttons. I'm sure they have real names, I can't remember them. I just called them A, B, C, and D, honestly. A, B, C are kind of your regular buttons, and the D button is the magic button. And any direction in the magic button gives you a different special move that uses up your mana bar. All your special moves do have more complex motions. You can do quarter circle back or dragon punch motion depending on the move, but you don't have to if you don't want to. If you do use the motion, my understanding is the magic meter refills instantly after using your move. Otherwise, if you use the easy input of, back, down, forward, whatever, there's a little bit of a penalty before your magic meter refills. But either way, it's pretty small. But I do, at the very least, appreciate that more traditional motions are in the game. They're not just flat out removed. Use whichever one you prefer. That's basically where I'm at right now, honestly. To speak on the gameplay itself, it seems the game has mostly a basic Gatling / magic series, in that you can go standing normal, crouching normal, standing normal, crouching normal, standing normal, going from light to heavy attacks. I played the Crusader mostly, who is seemingly the only character in the game that does not have that option, which is for balance concerns, I'm sure. Now, as for some of the more unique aspects of this gameplay, one thing about the magic meter is I like how it works. You start your round with full magic, that's great. So effectively, you can go kind of crazy right out of the gate. You don't have to build up your meter, right? You start with the meter, and the more you take damage over the course of the round, the more potential meter you have available to you. As your magic meter, the cap, your maximum amount of mana you can have, is higher and higher the more damage you take. So in effect, that is the comeback mechanic. So if you're almost dead and have 200 mana to work with, you can do much bigger, better, flashier combos, more advanced setups, all that kind of stuff, simply because you have more resource to work with. I think that's actually very elegant in terms of how comeback mechanics should work. Now, on the flip, they have the exact opposite, and they have the big sledgehammer comeback mechanic of once you're red health, you have your big giant cinematic super, costs no resource to do, it's easy to combo into, you just basically hit a button and you got it. So that's definitely, like a Street Fighter 4 Ultra or something, right? Seemingly, they don't have a lot of invincibility, so you can't just spam them, you're mostly going to use them in combos instead, which then you're subject to scaling and all that kind of stuff. So it's not wildly crazy, but you have the two sides of the coin, basically. A natural flowing comeback mechanic that gives you more resource the more you're losing and get bigger and better combos, and one that's just the big flashy super move. Another mechanic I'm a big fan of is the gray health mechanic. So gray health, white health, whatever you want to call it, is nothing new in fighting games, You have damage and recoverable damage. But in this game, you can cash in your recoverable damage for mana, so you can actually do more stuff. You lose the health, but you gain more offensive capability, and you can also use it for basically free canceling, which once I got the hang of it, I found very fun for combat because it's basically a Roman cancel, right? So you could do whatever, launch the enemy, maybe a launcher you wouldn't be able to follow from yourself normally, but then you cash in your gray health and then you just cancel on the spot and you just go in from there. Looks like it has a potential besides combos, you know, gain advantage on certain moves or make unsafe moves safe, that kind of stuff. A lot of the game's depth, I feel, is going to come once we start mastering that mechanic. And if you don't want to cash it in, gray health actually recovers very fast in this game for what it is, so you can just sit back and get that health back. It's not insignificant. Basically, when it comes to a lot of the mechanics, I think it's there. They definitely got some stuff. It is very mechanically interesting. So besides that, the characters, one of the most core parts of the gameplay, right? I mostly spent time with the Crusader, and as a fan of, you know, the big boy archetype in fighting games, the Crusader definitely is that. Massive range buttons, satisfying combos, big hits, has a lot of the same weaknesses, which I feel will become more apparent as people get better at the game. Like his very slow buttons, the fact that his defense is not up to snuff, but we're all kind of beginners right now, so those things don't get taken advantage of right away. Although I have seen on Twitter people have already figured out Crusader only combos and Crusader only instant overhead, so that's going to be fun to deal with come launch. But yeah, besides the Crusader, all the characters seem very varied and interesting. They all do their own thing, and they all do their own thing in a very unique way. The one thing I noticed from the beta, though, is there's no kind of basic default archetype. You know, the guy with the Shoryuken, the fireball, all that kind of stuff. The Ryu, if you will. There's no quote-unquote basic character, which I found pretty interesting. We still definitely have more characters to go, so maybe someone will fit that mold. But I just found it interesting because almost every fighting game launches with that style of character, right? Just so everyone can kind of find their feet. Not necessary, I guess, just found it interesting that there is a lack of that kind of character. But given the characters are inventive as they are, and even though there's quote-unquote simple controls and all that kind of stuff, I've already seen a lot of advanced offense, especially from the Kunoichi and the Dragon Knight. There's so much possible, like weird lockdown mix-ups. The Dragon Knight has a lot of like fly mix-up pressure, which is very interesting. The characters allow for a lot of advanced concepts, and the fact that the system is very generous, because once again, one of the other system things is, as long as you have meter, you are able to freely special cancel into special cancel into special cancel. For the most part, most special moves can go into other special moves, as long as the meter's there. Crusader also seemingly a bit of an outlier in that fact, like he can't special cancel his shield charge move, where he hits you with the cross and then does the big hammer uppercut. But other than that, for the most part, most characters can freely just special cancel into anything as long as meter is provided. We absolutely have so much more to learn about the game, but as far as general depth is going, I'm actually very excited seeing how this is all going to turn out. This could be pretty fun, honestly. There's a lot going on. One of the things to mention, something I didn't really think about in the beta, and the fact that I didn't think about it makes it one of the best things about the beta, is the quality of the netcode. So I'm assuming this is using like Strive's netcode as a base and maybe even some improvements, who knows? As I never thought about the quality of the online, meaning it was good. Because normally if you're thinking about the online, you're thinking, oh, this sucks, or this guy is laggy, or this, that, and the other, right? For the most part, just I played my games, didn't think about it twice, which is the best possible thing. You don't want to have to think about the netcode. And since I didn't, I can only give the netcode 2 big thumbs up. Now, as for other online stuff, let's just talk general finding a game. Now, this only used the lobby system. This is like the old school style ArcSys lobby system, which isn't bad, I guess, but neither is it exactly pushing the envelope forward, right? There was no quick match at all in the beta, which I found very frustrating. Honestly, that's my preferred way to play. Just get me into a match quick. I don't want to look through lobbies. I don't want to look through any of that. If I'm looking to play against friends, sure, whatever, lobbies, great, fantastic. But just give me a quick match button and just throw me into a match. There was a lot of issues with just, even when the beta started working quote-unquote more normally, there's a lot of issues with the rooms. It would only display like 2 or 3 at a time, when I'm sure there was many more than that, right? And that I found just a little frustrating. Like, I don't know what the totality of the options are going to be when the game launches. I hope there's more than just the rooms. Like, give me a proper quick match for casual and for ranked, please. as I feel with having to integrate with the lobbies in any way, shape, or form is just a couple more hoops that just waste more time. This is extra highlighted to me because the King of Fighters 15 beta, which was also running at the same time, has those exact options. You can just hit casual matchmaking, boom, go, you're locked into a match, done. And that's about what I have to say at the moment. I had a lot of fun with the beta. I was kind of iffy at first, I'm not gonna lie, but the game won me over. The core gameplay is good. The characters are fun. I specifically had a lot of fun with the Crusader. I would probably play a lot more characters, but there's only a couple days for the beta, right? So I just want to focus on the one guy. I do want to try out the Grappler. The Troubleshooter, which we learned about the other day, that's very interesting to me. I would like to try out that character very much as well. I feel like despite people railing on simple inputs, the game's going to have a decent amount of depth to it. Maybe it won't be the next Virtua Fighter or something, sure, right? But neither does it have to be. It can just stand on its own merits and be fun, and to me, fun is exactly what it is. And I went from kinda not knowing much to becoming a believer. I'm looking forward to this game now. So when it comes to my experiences with the beta, other than like a lot of the technical hiccups, which once again are not gameplay related, it's 2 big thumbs up. It was fun and I want to play more. That said, since we do have our release window, anyway, summer 2022, which is a whiles away, and we do know there's more characters coming to the game, I would absolutely love to see a second beta at some point. If just even to prove they can get past all the technical hurdles and technical issues, because even by the end of the beta where things got better, I was still getting disconnected a lot. And that was a little troublesome and at the very least very annoying. So beta 2, let's do it. Other than that, my friends, once again, positive impressions, looking forward to the game. And that's the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some DnF Duel.
Oh, yeah.